Pa-ching, pa-ching, pa-ching. Oh, poop. That's another duck shot. Who else can match my accuracy? It ain't always about the size of your gun, shorty. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're going to take a look this time around at a fan favorite from the Generation 1 toy line. We're taking a look at the Autobot warrior known as Warpath. Now, Warpath was released in 1985. He would also be available in 1986, and he would be discontinued in 1987. It wouldn't be long after he was discontinued that the function of Warrior would also be phased out of the Transformer toy line. Warpath here was obviously a very popular character, as he was the first tank to be introduced into the Transformers toy line. And the fact that he was brought in for the Autobots says a lot about him. It wouldn't be until '86 when the Decepticons would get Brawl to have their own tank. Of course, let's take a look here at Warpath. A little bit closer up. Of course, what also helped Warpath's popularity was how he was presented in the 1980s Transformers cartoon. He was always a loud and boisterous character, and was very prideful in his shooting skills. Warpath here was also voiced in the cartoon by famed actor Alan Oppenheimer, who also was providing the voices for Beachcomber and Sea Spray. But he's more famous for his roles in the rival cartoon He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, where he portrayed a number of characters, including the series villain Skeletor. So, talk about a lot of personalities. Taking a look at the toy, we'll take a look at Warpath's articulation. His head, while it's attached to the tank turret, can rotate all the way around, depending on how the arms are well positioned. His arms are capable of going straight down, so they can only adjust to about a 45-degree angle, and that's about it. Any more, and they kind of rub up against the tank turret a little bit. But if you do have them pulled out far enough, as you can see here with the right arm, you can, if you get them out far enough, it can go all the way around. You just got to be careful that you're not pushing it back in the process. And he does have a joint at the ankles, so it does allow him to lean back, but it's more for transforming him than for any other purposes. And there he goes again. But of course, now would be an appropriate time to also mention that Warpath was a popular name amongst 1980s toys, as around the same time he was released, Tonka released this character named Warpath, who's a renegade in the GoBots toy line. And in a moment, you'll see why why having the two of them with a similar name is kind of a fun thing to have to go around. Now let's transform Warpath into his alternate mode. To do so, we're going to first fold down his head. Then we're going to lay him back all the way. We'll rotate his arms so that they're straight. Push them in at the shoulders. We'll pull up his tank turret so we can fold it down, and then push the entire body together. And there you have it. Warpath is obviously a tank. I think he's meant to be a super deformed version of, I think maybe it's a leopard style tank. I'm not entirely sure how accurate that claim is. But in this mode, he doesn't look too bad. He does give the presentation of looking like he is a tough little tank. And of course, the tank turret does rotate 360 degrees. So that's an added benefit for our imaginations back in the day. Unfortunately for his movement in this mode, he has fake treads, but he has 3 little wee wheels. So that allows him to basically scoot along the table. But of course, he's a tank. Tanks weren't known for being very fast. But I think in his case, he's probably making an exception just due to the fact those little wee wheels don't go over things very well. Now, as stated earlier, it's fun that he shares the name with the GoBot, since the GoBot converts into an Apache-style helicopter. So that kind of helps fuel a rivalry between these two. Alright, now we'll take a look at Warpath's file card here. This would be the 1985 variant. Unfortunately, it's pretty torn up here where the toy was. But we do have one that has the old price sticker. Looks like this one was sold for about $2.97. Good luck getting something this good at that price today. On the back side, we have up here in the upper left corner the instructions for the rub sign. That's found here at the base of the tank. Of course, beneath it we have the Transformers logo and the 1985 mural. Heavily featured the Dinobots. And of course, underneath that we have the 4 simple directions on how to transform him. Underneath that is the barcode and his robot point. He was worth a half a point. And we'll rotate it here to the side. And we'll see here. We'll take a look at his tech spec and his bio. It's done up in red to signify he's an Autobot. Even says he's an Autobot. And it uses a similar picture to the one found on the front of the card. It gives his name as Warpath, and his function is Warrior. His motto is, a good shot is worth more than a good intention. Thinks he's more impressive than his comrades do. Likes to show off his sharpshooting. Boisterous, loudmouth, raucous sense of humor makes him welcome company. Vain, upset by even the smallest scratch to his gun barrel. Can go 30 miles per hour over roughest terrain. Hit a hex nut 1.5 miles away. Shoots explosive, thermal, cryogenic, acid, and sonic shells. Great strength, but helpless if upended. Unless he decides to transform at that moment. And we'll place the decoder here over the grid, and we'll take a look at his stats. It gives his strength as 9, his intelligence is 5, his speed is 2, his endurance is 8, his rank is 5, his courage is 9, his firepower is 7, and his skill is 10. So, here we have it, folks. The Ultimate Warrior in a convenient pocket-sized package. Now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Warpath? Warpath here is definitely a top-tier toy for the Transformers. He was, without a doubt, one of the first military-themed Transformers to be brought into the Autobots. The only other one at that time that was reasonably close for the Autobots was Power Glide, who was also sold at this price point. So it's kind of hard to say which one of them was actually the first. But at any rate, Warpath here definitely filled a definite needed void that the Autobots had. They were lacking severely in military firepower. And with Warpath, they got some of that. His accuracy with his gun barrel definitely makes him a much worthy addition to the Autobots. And the fact that he also has the armor to protect himself definitely meant he saw a lot of frontline action. The bio that they gave him definitely suits his character, and I always did like the fact that he'd be upset by even a slight scratch to his gun barrel, so he takes a lot of pride in his weaponry. But at any rate, this toy was definitely a must-have for a lot of us growing up, as he definitely was a welcome addition to the Autobots, and he was at a small price point that he wouldn't break the bank when you begged your parents to get him for you. But even to this day, as you look in a fair amount of the assorted media, Warpath does still make the occasional appearance. Almost wouldn't mind seeing them find a way to make him be brought into the siege line, just so long as they don't redo Megatron to be Warpath. So if he doesn't have the tank barrel sticking out of his chest, it's not Warpath. And that concludes my review of the Autobot Warrior Warpath. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up for me here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below to join up in our ranks, and ring the notification bell so you'll be alerted to future videos as they get posted. Please also consider sharing your thoughts about Warpath, either one of them, in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.